Hey everybody, it's Shelly. So I didn't do a video yesterday. Time just got away from me and I didn't do a video yesterday. So yesterday was my day to do a money video and today is my day to do a relationship video. So I just thought I would combine the two because money can be such a huge issue in relationships. It can be a huge issue in a relationship with your significant other. It can be a huge issue with your relationship with your kids or your parents and friends. Borrowing money, loaning out money, giving money, having a lot of money while others don't. And so the whole thing with money is it's just like everything else that you attract into your life. Like if you were like every morning, like I get up every morning and I feed my dogs and then I make a pot of coffee. If every morning I was just like stressing, I got up and I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to be able to feed the dogs? And then I have to make coffee. And what if I don't put enough water in the pot? What if, I don't make the dogs food right? What if I forget to give them fresh water? Oh my God, how am I going to get up and do that? Like you can just like you can turn anything into this huge stressor. And, I say that because that's what we do with money and it's what we do with relationships is we stress about all of that. We stress about, oh, we're going to have enough money. With Christmas coming up, am I going to need to borrow money from somebody to buy presents, which I highly do not advise doing. Like, just like to me, the whole gifting thing, it should be fun. Like if it turns into a stress, then don't do it. And if people are mad at you, just say, hey, I couldn't do it this year, whatever. Anyways, if you just think of how easy it is to get up every morning and, rub the sleep out of your eyes and go into your kitchen and make a pot of coffee, it's really that easy to make money and relationships that easy because you don't stress about it. You just know every morning I wake up and I make my pot of coffee and I feed the dogs and I let them out to go to the bathroom. And, because of that, they don't just go to the bathroom in the house. Like it's just easy. I open the door and they go out. I fill the coffee pot and put a new filter in and put some coffee in and turn it on and it makes coffee. And sometimes that coffee pot will die because it's had enough and it's been around for a few years. And in those instances, you can either look at that as a huge tragedy and freak out and let it completely ruin your life, or you can get out the coffee cone, or you can run down to Walmart and spend $20 on a new coffee pot and just be like, oh, I guess I get to go to Dutch Brothers or Starbucks today. Like, it's the same with money. You can get up every morning and you can stress about it. Oh my God, how am I going to make enough? Am I going to be able to do it today? Is my check going to be enough? Are the bills going to get paid? Or you can just wake up every morning and write that check for that bill or get online and pay that bill and be grateful. Like, oh yeah, this is so awesome. This just happens naturally. And then to switch that over to relationships, it's the same thing. If you want to be in a good relationship, be a person in a good relationship. Like, be the change you want to see. A lot of people in relationships, and any relationship, but your romantic relationship hits pretty hard because that's sometimes your most important relationship in your life. You start doing the blame game, like he's not treating me well enough, or he didn't help me with that, or he didn't tell me that my hair looked good, or he didn't get up in time, or he didn't help me with the kids that time. And it's just like, there are some relationships that need to end, and there is no doubt about that. But if you are in a pretty darn good relationship and you just find yourself blaming the other person for all of your unhappiness, then you need to reevaluate yourself. Like, I always think of the President Kennedy. ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And it's the same thing with everything. Like, you know, God helps those who help themselves. If you're just sitting there complaining about the other person and blaming the other person for all of your, you know, downfalls and all your faults and all your failures, then that's what it's going to be. You're never going to take charge of your life. But if you're like, you know what, you know, like for me, every morning I get up about an hour to an hour and a half earlier than my husband. And I just do that because I like that quiet time in the morning. It's just by choice. It's not anything that I'm forced to do or anything. I'm one of those weird morning people. I love being up early. I get up sometimes before 4. And so after I make coffee and I have my coffee and stuff, and when it's time for my husband to get up, I bring him a cup of coffee and bring it up and set it on the bathroom counter and, you know, wake him up and, you know, tell him I love him. And, you know, so if you're in a relationship and you're just totally irritated that your partner isn't a morning person, then do something nice for them. Like, a relationship should be something you want to do. If you're in a relationship that you just can't stand, and that goes for everything, that goes for even your parents or your kids. If you're being treated horribly, you need to put up some boundaries and change that and start making yourself happy and not depending on them. So, and then when you mix relationships and money, you know, if you have kids that are constantly borrowing money, or you have parents that constantly need money, or, you know, you just have a lot of money and you have relatives that are upset because you're not spending it on them or helping them, or, you know, a lot of people hit a new level of allowing money in, you know, a work situation or inheritance, or, you know, they sell a piece of property and they have a lot of money, and the people around them start getting greedy and like, well, you got lucky and why aren't you sharing it with me? And when you're in that position of really clicking with money and having a really good relationship with it and having a lot of abundance and having this really great flow of money in your life, and then you have people, relatives, friends, you know, whatever, that are in that still in that place of lack, like, oh, I never have enough. Every time I pay a bill, I'm broke. You know, I saw the one thing on Facebook, oh, I'm glad I paid my rent so I have somewhere to starve. And it's just like, that is such a messed up, you know, I know it's supposed to be funny, but it's not. That sucks. Like, if you're paying your rent and you just have a crappy attitude about it, do you think that next month you're going to allow more abundance and fun into your life? No, next month you're going to get the same crappy thing that you're focusing on. So when you have those people in your life, you know, you can help them out, but do it like, we kind of made a rule with our kids because, you know, I've dealt with lending money to relatives, or, you know, when I grew up, you know, I know that my mom borrowed money from family and stuff like that. And it was always just this big thing of contention, like, oh, well, you owe me money. And then, no, just let it go. It's no big deal. You don't have to pay me back. And then they'd get in a fight. And then, oh, well, you still owe me that money. And it was just like this big vicious circle of just craziness with money. And so Scott and I, my husband, decided that if we are going to lend money to anyone, whether it's our kids or our parents or friends or family or whatever, we're only going to lend it to them if it's something that we can do without it breaking us. So Oscar's barking at something. That puppy, he barks at everything. He was so good for so many months and he wasn't barking, and now he barks at everything. Anyways, we just made that rule. So if our kids need, like, you know, Madison is working full time, she's coaching, she's going to school full time, and sometimes she needs a little help. So, you know, we just, if we give her money or we pay something for her, we just know that we're doing it, and we're not, you know, if she pays us back, that's great, but we're not putting that out there. So it's just a really good way to be. Like, if you need to, you know, if you have like one of your kids coming to you and say, can you just give me $50 because I need to buy food and make it last till the end of the month? If that $50 is going to break you, then just say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it this month. You know, you're going to have to figure something else out. But if you have plenty of money in abundance and you're like, yeah, I can lend you that $50, and don't put it out there like, well, you can just keep it. Just say, hey, you know, I can lend you that $50. And then at the end of the month, when they come to you and say, hey, you know, I really thought I'd be able to pay you back that $50, but I can't, then just say, okay, whatever. Like, that's the attitude to have about money. When you start getting like, well, you said you'd pay it back, just know that next time when they say, I need $50, just say, well, if you don't feel comfortable with that, if you feel like you're just like perpetuating a problem, then just say, no, I can't do that. If they say why, you can explain it to them, or you don't have to. You can give them the $50. Like, it's up to you, and it's up to that relationship. But when you start turning that into this like control thing and lack and struggle and all that with other people, it just perpetuates your issues with lack and struggle of money. Like, don't do that. Be abundant. Part of being abundant is helping other people out, is tithing, is giving to charity. And sometimes that charity is your kid that's going to college, or your parent that is on a fixed income, or your friend that, you know, lost their job. So if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna deal with money and relationships, just make sure it's free and clear on your conscience. You know, just okay. So I'm gonna leave it there. The whole law of attraction thing with money and relationships is just like everything else. If you want it to go good, you have to be good in it. If you want more money, you have to be good with money. If you want a better relationship, you have to be a better person in the relationship. And, you know, you can be a better person in the relationship and realize, hey, this is not what I want. This is not the friendship I want. This is not the parent-child relationship I want. This is not the romantic relationship I want. And you can put up boundaries or stop going to lunch with that person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or, you know, break up with that person or get a divorce and move on to something that's freer and better for you. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a great Thursday. I'm taking Jazzy to the high school for Marley's veterinary science class. They're going to observe her, so it ought to be interesting. We keep telling her about it, but she acts like she doesn't know what we're talking about. Anyways, have a great day. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you liked this video. And hit the bell if you want to know when I'm going live. And for the 2 people that watched me, thank you so much. Bye.